McKenna reached up and picked the cobweb out of the woman's hair, shaking it off her fingers. Yes, another month and you'd be ready for Halloween. Livy stared at the grayish mass on the floor. I hope that didn't come with any residents attached. Startled, McKenna wiggled in place, swiping at her clothing like she was dusting an attic. I don't see any eight-legged visitors crawling around. Thank goodness for that. Livy dug in her apron pocket for her blanket. Livy dug in her apron pocket for her order blanket. Livy dug in her apron pocket for her order blank. You girls want lunch? Yes, please. We have to be at the elementary school by 1 o'clock. Sydney will have her usual, and I'll have a cup of soup and a half. Sydney will have her usual, and I'll have a cup of soup and half a grilled cheese. What are you doing at the school? What are you doing at the school, if I may be so nosy? The learning specialist is meeting us to explore options for Sydney's education. Livy raised an eyebrow. You think they'll be able to accommodate you? Sometimes these options the schools offer are like placing a round peg in a square hole. Lots of corners to collect troubles. I hope not. I've been in that situation before. McKenna studied her daughter. Sydney struggles with big classes and Sydney struggles with big classes and lots of noise. A smaller school district and fewer children may be the ticket for her success. Maybe so. Livy turned toward the counter. I'll make your lunches. Be back soon. While her daughter played with a couple of toothpicks, McKenna leaned against the soft, cushioned chair. She drummed her fingers against the tabletop, taking deep breaths to steady her racing pulse. The meeting ahead could go two directions. The specialist either had a heart for children with special needs and would work to place Sydney in the best possible situation, or the woman had a job to do and Sydney would land wherever it was easiest for the school district to meet its obligation. McKenna prayed for guidance, the choices falling to her. I'm glad you're near, Father. All these decisions are difficult, and I have no one to help me. Livy appeared a few minutes later, carrying Sydney's hamburger and fries, as well as McKenna's sandwich on plates. As well as McKenna's sandwich on plates, one of which also balanced a cup of soup. Here you go. I'll get your drinks in return. When she reappeared with full glasses, Livy sat down in an adjacent chair, her face damp with perspiration, aimed at the door. Rudy called last night, said they hadn't had any snow yet, but a polar vortex was reported forming on the Bering Sea. They could see as much as a foot in the next few days. I thought the wind felt awfully cold for September. McKenna sipped her soup. I don't like that. I thought the wind felt awfully cold for September. McKenna sipped her soup. Don't we get the breezes off their storms here on the Pacific? We do. Livy shook her head. But he works in these storms. They can't be safe. 50-mile-an-hour gusts sometimes. She glanced up at McKenna. I can't lose my boy. Nor can I lose my husband. McKenna shivered. Dane fished on a boat, too. Dane fished on a boat too. Any storm Rudy might encounter would also affect Dane. Would the title of widow be more complicated than the one she wore now? She didn't want to find out. She didn't want to find out.